30 or 40 years ago, fans of science fiction used to watch films about the future and dream of the kind of life we would all be living by the year 2000. Holidays to the moon, colonies in space, robots in the home. And weren't jetpacks going to be one of the most thrilling parts of our future? After eating a protein pill for breakfast, we would then strap on our personal rocket packs and fly ourselves to our high-tech offices in no time. But we're now several years into the 21st century, and so far only 17 people have flown a jetpack. Apart from the occasional appearance as a novelty at sporting events or motor shows, it appears that jetpacks are permanently grounded. The idea of the jetpack originated way back in the 1920s in a science fiction comic called Buck Rogers, which later became a popular radio show and then a TV program. The concept became a reality when Wendell Moore, an engineer at Bell Aerospace in the USA, developed the rocket belt, which had its first successful flight in 1961. Perhaps flight is the wrong word. Even though the rocket belt could accelerate faster than a Formula One car, it only had a maximum time in the air of 30 seconds. With such a limited range, the US military lost interest, and NASA, who had thought about using them on their moon missions, did not invest money in the project. Jetpacks have failed to get off the ground ever since. However, a dedicated group of amateur engineers has continued to build and attempt to fly their own homemade jetpacks. The designs haven't altered much since the first Bell rocket belt. In fact, they're not really powered by rockets at all. They're powered by steam, which is produced by a chemical reaction. Flying a jetpack requires a certain amount of courage. The steam is forced out of the jetpack at about 750 degrees centigrade, and they're not easy to fly. Bill Suter, one of Bell Aerospace's original test pilots and the man who flew into the opening ceremony of the 1984 Olympic Games, described the experience of flying with a rocket belt as like trying to stand on a beach ball in a swimming pool.
Today I'm going to be talking about amateur journalism. In other words, journalism practiced by ordinary people, not professional journalists. For people like you, who want to get some real writing experience, this can be a good way to get started. And later I'll be offering you some practical tips to help you. Amateur journalists are providing more and more news. I think the main cause of this change has been the internet. Nowadays, anyone close to an important event can write a report and email it to a newspaper. Or they can take a photo with a digital camera, or use their mobile phone to make a video film of what's happening. Also, amateur journalism isn't just for people who are in the right place at the right time. People can now write reports and articles about things which a big organization might not be interested in, and post their ideas on their website or blog. This means that all sorts of people can express their views. Also, in the past, if you wanted to make your opinions known, one of the few ways of doing this was to send a letter to a newspaper. But normally, newspapers only print a few of the thousands of letters they receive each day. Now people can write about the things which are really important to them and the people around them, and they put it in a blog. As a result, amateur journalists often write about something which is a local issue. And by local issue, I mean something happening in the school in their area, or the traffic in their town, but not something necessarily of national or international interest. Amateur journalism is a growing phenomenon. There are now major online newspapers. Oh My News in South Korea, for example, has a large number of readers, and for this reason they can attract advertising and get income from this. And as a result, it's become a profitable business.